I once heard Bears president Kevin Warren say that he wanted to build the Bears a new stadium. So when fans walked up to the stadium, they felt like they were walking up to the Louvre in Paris. Well, guess what? We found out earlier today the Bears are prepared to put in about $2 billion to create this new stadium. By the way, I am standing on the Waldron deck for all you Bears fans who come here to tailgate before games. Soldier Field behind us. And then as we spin around, here's the south parking lot that the Bears are talking about building the new stadium on the Waldron deck and the south parking lot. What a huge investment. I was told months ago that this far exceeded the cost of building a new stadium, far exceeded what the Bears were prepared to spend. So they engaged Goldman Sachs to find a way to raise the equity so they could build what they want to be their new home for the next 50 to 100 years. Now, the new plan is to build a stadium here, as I said, just south of the existing Soldier Field on the Waldron deck. I've also seen plans that uses Northerly Island to the east. If you can see it through the trees, we're all aware of what Northerly Island is today. It's used as a concert venue over the summer, and it's really been just useless since Mayor Daley ripped up the runway at Meigs Field, but it would be a chance for the city of Chicago to use that. Also, since Kevin Warren became president of the Bears, his relationship with the mayor of Chicago has been terrific, Mayor Brandon Johnson. Before Warren and Johnson were in place, the relationship between the Bears and Mayor Lightfoot was acrimonious, so nothing could get accomplished. These two gentlemen want the Bears to stay in Chicago. Brandon Johnson does not want the Bears to leave while he's mayor, and Kevin Warren, since moving to this city, has fallen in love with Chicago. It's a world-class city. It deserves a world-class stadium. He lives in the city. He wants the Bears in downtown Chicago. Terrific dialogue between the two. Hopefully, Brandon Johnson can help the Bears in any potential legal fight that they may go through with Friends of the Park. Now remember, as we spin around again, Friends of the Park blocked George Lucas, the creator of Star Wars, from building the Star Wars Museum on that parking lot. He was willing to spend in excess of $700 million of his own money. Friends of the Park said no. What the Bears are hoping to do to keep Friends of the Park happy, reportedly, is to rip down Soldier Field and then put park space inside Soldier Field, but keep the colonnades up. Make sure the War Memorial stays. It's a landmark, but to create green space. I live in the Museum Park area. It is something that we have been begging for in the Museum Park area, and it would be beautiful. But who's going to pay for the removal of Soldier Field? Also, what about parking? If you take the south lot and the Waldron deck and you build a new football stadium and you keep the old football stadium as a park, where are you going to put 10,000 cars? Already we know, for those of us that go to the games, and by the way, I've been a season ticket holder since the late 60s when the Bears played at Wrigley Field, we know how awful transportation is in and out of the Soldier Field area. Where are you going to park over 10,000 cars for Bears game day? That's a question that needs to be answered. The renderings, the videos, absolutely beautiful. Not released to the public yet, but something I saw actually had on the north side of the brand new stadium a vision of the city skyline. If we can, let's get a shot of that. Imagine if you were inside the new Soldier Field looking out the windows north, and there is your skyline. It would be terrific. And the Bears, from what I'm told, would like this new stadium built in time for the 2028 season. 2028, less than 4 years away. Listen, Kevin Warren built a beautiful new home for the Minnesota Vikings when he was in Minneapolis. And guess what? It was paid off 23 years ahead of time. It was just paid off in June. Now, it wasn't as expensive as what it's going to cost here in Chicago, but it was paid off 23 years ahead of time. So the man is a visionary. He's bold. He knows what he wants to do. and he wants to create something that's going to be on the lakefront for the Chicago Bears and the city of Chicago for the next 50 to 100 years. This is what a world-class city deserves. The opportunity to host a Super Bowl, the Final Four, major concerts like Taylor Swift in a domed stadium in the city of Chicago. It's exciting. Bears will use it 9-10 games a season, but there's so many other uses for a dome stadium in a city like this that will bring hundreds of millions of dollars of revenue to the city of Chicago. We are your home of the Bears, Fox 32 Chicago. Keep it on Fox 32 Chicago. We will have the latest on the Bears' new home.